Hi, this is Lee Burgess from the Law School Toolbox and the Bar Exam Toolbox. Welcome to another Quick Tips episode. If you're listening to this and you're in that 2-week countdown to the bar exam, first, take a deep breath. You've already done the heavy lifting, and now we're in the refinement stage, not the reinvention stage. Today, I'm going to walk you through a strategic framework for these final days that balances critical content review with essential mental preparation. Because here's the truth. How you spend these final 2 weeks can make a significant difference in your performance, but only if you approach it intelligently. So let's talk about what's happening in your brain right now. If you're feeling panic creeping in, that's completely normal. Your stress response is in overdrive. You might be tempted to cram around the clock. But here's what cognitive science tells us. Panic studying is actually counterproductive. When we try to absorb too much new information too quickly, we run into what's called the forgetting curve, where retention drops dramatically without proper reinforcement. What you're likely experiencing right now might be anxiety about gaps in your knowledge, burnout from months of intensive study, and imposter syndrome, that feeling that everyone else knows more than you. This is where you need to introduce what I call the 80-20 rule of bar prep. At this stage, 20% of your efforts will yield 80% of your final progress. It's about working smarter, not harder. So for these final 2 weeks, I want you to think about your preparation as running on 2 parallel tracks. The first track focuses on high-yield review, not relearning. This means prioritizing heavily tested subjects on both the MBE and the essays, focusing on rule statements only. This is memorization time, not conceptual learning time. You need to be able to write out these rules very quickly and with elements where appropriate. It is great to have someone quiz you on this. Emphasizing application rather than theory. You must think about fact patterns that apply to these rules. Our Listen and Learn episodes can really help with that. We have a full list of those episodes linked to in the show notes. Creating one-page ultimate cheat sheets for each subject with only the most critical rules or the rules you struggle with. To be honest, I always screwed up the insanity defenses when studying crim for my bar exam. They were always on this list. Your second track is all about getting your mind and body ready for game day. You need to be practicing under timed conditions, but being strategic about it. You need to be implementing stress management techniques. We'll talk about some specific ones. You need to do physical preparation, aligning your sleep schedule with what's going to be asked of you on exam days. And environment preparation. You need to visit the test location and prepare your supplies. This 2-track approach ensures that you're not just cramming content, but preparing your entire system for optimal performance. So let's break this down into a specific daily framework. Days 14 through 10. During this first phase, you're identifying your specific knowledge gaps. Conduct 3-hour practice sessions, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or consider a different schedule if you get extended time. No matter what, try to mimic what your testing day is going to look like. Immediately review your answers to identify patterns of error after the full session. Get used to not checking your work as you study. And spend your evenings on 1-hour reviews of heavily tested areas. Or do this first thing in the morning if that's the best time you have cognitive retention. For example, if you notice you consistently miss questions on hearsay exceptions, spend your evening slot drilling those rules using active recall, not passive rereading. Days 9 through 5. Simulated testing conditions. Now we're building mental endurance. Conduct morning simulations that mimic actual testing sections, and then use your afternoons for targeted review of your weakest areas and evaluation of how you did in the morning. In the evenings, limit yourself to light review of memorization tools only. This phase is critical for building your test-taking stamina. Also consider practicing in a library or other public setting to acclimate to background noise and distractions. Days 4 through 2, strategic tapering. Now we start to ease back. We reduce to shorter review sessions, like 2 to 3 hours maximum. We increase our emphasis on mental rehearsal techniques. We practice visualization exercises for test day scenarios. Hey, it works for athletes. Why wouldn't it work for the bar exam? We focus on memory reinforcement through active recall. Make sure you are getting plenty of sleep and moving your body. And make sure you have your logistics down for the exam day. This is like tapering before a marathon. We're ensuring your mental energy is at its peak on exam day. Now, day 1, the mental game. The day before the exam is all about confidence building. No new material whatsoever. Light review at most of your personal cheat sheets only. You want to double check your test center logistics, like directions, parking, and ID requirements. You want to establish an evening routine for optimal sleep. And if you are traveling, make sure you are set up at your location. Have food and other logistics completely figured out. Leave nothing to the last minute. Remember, the goal for this day isn't to learn anything new. It's to build your confidence and ensure you are well rested. Now, the night before and the morning of, let's talk about the specifics of those final hours. The night before, I would avoid alcohol completely, as this can make it hard to sleep. I would limit screen time. Blue light affects sleep quality. Instead, find a good book to read that will make you happy and not stressed out. Prepare everything you'll need for the morning and try a gentle relaxation technique before bed. It could be a meditation or yoga or a breathing exercise. The morning of, stick to your normal breakfast routine. Now is not the time to try new foods. If you are staying in a hotel, consider having food you can make in the room. Don't try to order in. Arrive at the testing location early, but not too early, because excessive waiting increases anxiety. Try not to talk to a bunch of nervous people either. That doesn't help anything. Use positive affirmations or visualization in your final waiting period. And make sure you go to the bathroom before each section starts. Now, as we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. You've prepared for months, and these final 2 weeks are about refinement, not revelation. Remember that feeling prepared is different from feeling confident. Many successful bar takers still feel nervous right up until the exam begins. That's normal and does not predict your performance. The bar exam tests minimum competency, not perfection. You don't need to get everything right. You just need to demonstrate basic proficiency across the tested subjects. So trust your preparation. You've put in the work, and now it's time to execute your game plan with confidence. We will also link to a few related episodes in the show notes that you might also want to check out. And stay tuned for our upcoming episode, the post-bar recovery plan, because what you do after the exam matters too. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a like, leave us a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Good luck on the bar exam. You've got this.